My daughter had been missing for 6 hours when my phone rang. Unknown number. I was driving through Briarwick for the third time, screaming Myra's name until my throat burned raw. The police kept saying wait. My ex-husband Cole had her last, but he wasn't answering. I almost didn't pick up. Then a man's voice came through, low and urgent. I think someone is trapped below you. My vision tunneled. What? Who is this? The man spoke faster. Evan Rojas. I'm an electrician. I was called to a house on Hollow Ridge Court for a faulty breaker. Cole Wexler's place. While I was working, I heard tapping under the floor. Frantic tapping. Like someone trapped. My heart stopped. Where? Under the hallway. I asked Mr. Wexler about it. He smiled and told me it's old pipes. Evan's voice dropped. Pipes don't tap in patterns. This is deliberate. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. I yanked the wheel so hard my tires screamed. I'm coming. Don't leave. I can't leave, Evan said quietly. Not if someone's down there. I drove like my hands weren't mine. When I reached Hollow Ridge Court, Cole's car sat in the driveway. I ran to the door and pounded. Cole opened it slowly, blocking the doorway with his body. He was smiling. I tried to push past him. Cole grabbed my forearm, hard enough that I felt it bruise. But his face stayed soft. Come. For the neighbors. Selena, he said gently. Myra isn't here. Let me in. My voice cracked. I need to see. You're being hysterical. Cole raised his voice just enough for people to hear. You can't come in without permission. I heard it then. From inside the house. A faint rhythmic knock. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. My knees almost gave out. Evan appeared behind Cole, pale and sweating. He shook his head at me subtly. Don't escalate yet. I'm calling the police, I said, pulling out my phone. Cole smirked. Tell them your daughter is missing again. See if they take you seriously. I dialed anyway. While I waited for them to answer, I heard the tapping again. Closer now. Like it was coming from the hallway floor just inside the door. I noticed fresh screws along a floor panel near what looked like a utility closet. Cole saw me looking. He stepped onto the panel. Casually. Like a warning. Evan caught my eye and mouthed something. I couldn't make it out. Then he whispered. He cut power to something down there. On purpose. The police arrived 20 minutes later. 2 officers. They looked tired. Cole performed immediately. Concerned father. Helpful homeowner. Officers. Thank you for coming. My ex-wife is having another episode. Our daughter is with my mother right now, perfectly safe. I forced myself to stay calm. Hands open. Voice steady. Because I knew rage was what Cole wanted. My daughter has been missing for 6 hours, I said. She was last seen with him. And there's someone tapping under his floor. One officer looked at Evan. You're the electrician. Evan nodded. I was called for a breaker issue. While I was working, I heard deliberate tapping from below the floor. Mr. Wexler told me it was pipes settling. But pipes don't tap in code. Cole laughed. Old house. Lots of strange noises. I pointed to the screw-down panel. Then open that. Cole's smile tightened. That's for safety. Previous owners sealed it. Evan stepped forward. I was called because the breaker labeled lower storage was recently rewired. Someone did that on purpose. The officer looked at Cole. Why would you rewire a breaker? Cole shrugged. I didn't. Must have been before I bought the place. Then I saw it. Myra's pink hair tie on the stair runner. My heart jumped into my throat. Cole saw it too. He kicked it behind his shoe. That's my daughter's, I said, pointing. Cole smiled. Prove it. The officer knelt by the floor panel. The tapping returned. Weak. Desperate. The officer's face changed. Sir, I need you to open this panel. Cole crossed his arms. Not without a warrant. If there's someone trapped, we don't need a warrant, the officer said. Cole stalled. Started talking about property rights. Legal procedures. Evan cut in. If someone's down there, minutes matter. I can remove the screws. I have the tools. The officer nodded. Do it. Cole's mask slipped. He hissed at Evan. You're overstepping. Evan ignored him and pulled out a drill. He removed the screws quickly. The panel lifted. Cold air rushed out. It smelled like damp concrete and fear. A ladder dropped into darkness. I leaned forward, my whole body shaking. Myra! A small voice answered. Thin. Shaking. Mum. I collapsed. The officer caught me. Cole spoke immediately, loud enough for everyone to hear. She must have snuck down there. I told her not to play in the crawl space. But the second officer was examining the panel edges. Fresh sealant. Like it was meant to be airtight. The first officer climbed down the ladder. Then he stopped. His voice came up hollow. There's someone else down here. My blood went cold. Someone else. The officer's radio crackled. He called for backup. Then he helped Myra up first. Her knees were dirty. Her hands were shaking. She wouldn't look at Cole. Wouldn't look at anything. I pulled her into my arms. She was so small. So cold. Baby, I'm here. I'm here now. Myra clutched my sleeve. He said you didn't want me anymore. My heart shattered. But I kept my face calm. That's not true. I've been looking for you all day. Then the officer brought up a second person. A teenage girl. Disoriented. Clutching a torn hoodie. She looked maybe 16. I'd never seen her before in my life. Cole stepped back like he'd been slapped. I've never seen her. The girl looked straight at him. Her voice was quiet but clear. Liar. The second officer moved between Cole and the door. More sirens approached. This wasn't a custody dispute anymore. This was something else entirely. The teenage girl sat on the front step, wrapped in a blanket someone had brought. An officer was asking her name. She whispered, Rena. I held Myra tighter. Cole was staring at me. His face had gone blank. Empty. Like all the charm had been wiped away. Evan stood by his van. Phone out, recording everything. Rena had been missing from a neighboring town for 3 weeks. I watched the officers' faces change when she told them her name. They knew about her case. Cole tried to pivot immediately. Someone must have broken in. Used my crawl space. I had no idea. The officers weren't buying it. One of them pointed to new padlocks on interior doors throughout the house. Why do you have locks on the inside of bedroom doors? Cole stammered. Security. Evan spoke up quietly. He kept asking me if my van had a camera. Before I went inside. That's unusual. My phone rang. Nadia Finch, my solicitor. I'd called her hours ago when Myra first went missing. Selena, where are you? Cole's house. Police are here. They found Myra. She was trapped under the floor. Nadia went silent for 3 seconds. Do not give him a reaction. Give the Carter timeline. Document everything. Myra whispered into my neck. Mum, he made me practice what to say. I pulled back to look at her. Practice what? Her eyes were huge. Scared. If anyone asked me questions. He made me say things. One of the officers heard. What things, sweetheart? Myra looked at Cole. Then back at me. He said there's a script. In the cupboard. The officer asked Cole for permission to search the cupboard. Cole refused. The officer called for a warrant. While we waited, I sat on the curb with Myra, holding her hand. She was shaking. Evan brought her a bottle of water from his van. Thank you, I whispered. Evan nodded. I have kids. I couldn't walk away. The warrant came through fast. An officer opened the cupboard in the hallway. Inside was a printed list. The title read, If Asked. Below it were phrases. Mum forgets me. Mum yells. Dad keeps me safe. My breath caught in my throat. Cole's face tightened. Then smoothed. That's from a parenting blog. For helping kids express themselves. Evan stared at him. Then why is it taped where a child can read it like rules? The officer bagged the paper as evidence. I realized something then. The revenge I needed wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was structural. Legal. Permanent. I wanted protective orders that would keep Cole away from Myra forever. Rena was taken to the hospital. Myra was scheduled for evaluation. I rode with her in the ambulance, holding her hand. She whispered, he said the floor is where girls go when they don't listen. I closed my eyes. Tears ran down my face. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Nadia. Cole filed emergency custody paperwork yesterday. I stayed at the text. Yesterday. While Myra was missing. While I was driving through town screaming her name. Cole had been filing paperwork to take her away from me legally. Nadia called immediately. He was trying to seal her away on paper while physically sealing her under the floor. My stomach turned. He cited missed calls and erratic behavior during your search. His weaponizing your panic. I felt rage turn to ice. Cold. Focused. Nadia continued. There's something else. The police response delay might be connected to Cole's brother. He works in the council office. Has connections. I remember the officer on the phone telling me to wait. To give it time. To not overreact. What do we do? I asked. We build an airtight case. And we let Cole make mistakes. Later that evening, Evan called me. Miss Hart, I should tell you something. I wear a body cam for liability on jobs. I didn't record inside the house at first. But when Cole threatened me, I turned it on. My heart jumped. Threatened you? He told me to ignore the knocking. Said if I didn't, there would be consequences. Evan paused. I have video of him saying it. Nadia reviewed the video the next morning. Cole's voice came through clear and cold. It's not your concern. Finish the work. In the background, faint but unmistakable, the tapping. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. That's not just evidence, Nadia said. That's intent. Cole's lawyer released a statement that afternoon. Posted online. It painted me as a hysterical ex causing chaos. The comments piled up. People I'd never met calling me unstable. Attention-seeking. I felt humiliated. Then Nadia reminded me. Courtrooms don't run on comments. Myra's psychological evaluation came back. The therapist flagged coercive control. Fear conditioning. She noted Myra flinched when asked about her father. I started documenting everything. Every meal. Every bedtime. Every school drop-off. Building proof I was stable. Present. Safe. Then I got an email at work. The subject line read, Safeguarding risk. Employee under investigation. My hands shook opening it. Someone had contacted my employer with anonymous concerns about my fitness to work with vulnerable people. I knew immediately who it was. Cole was trying to destroy me from every angle. Nadia sent a formal notice to my workplace within an hour. Harassment. Interference. Intimidation. My manager called me in. She was cautious but kind. We have to take this seriously. I understand, I said. I gave her Nadia's contact information. Everything documented. Everything on record. While I fought to keep my job, police searched Cole's house more thoroughly. They found something that made my blood run cold. The crawl space had a makeshift latch system from above, and a timer switch connected to the breaker. Evan explained it to me over the phone. Whoever did that wiring wanted control. Control of light. Control of ventilation. This wasn't accidental. The police asked me if Cole had ever done renovations. I fought back. Remembered a weekend 2 months ago when Cole said he was doing privacy upgrades. He wouldn't let me inside. Said it was his space now. I scrolled through my phone and found an old photo. Cole standing in his hallway, smiling, posing beside a newly installed floor panel. I sent it to Nadia immediately. She called back within minutes. The metadata shows this was taken months before Myra went missing. So it wasn't panic. It was preparation. Cole filed for a mutual restraining order, trying to make it look like we were both equally dangerous. Nadia countered with a motion for supervised contact only. Myra had her first therapy session that week. She told the therapist something that broke me. She didn't wander into the crawl space. Cole picked her up early from after-school club. Told her I didn't come because I'd moved on. That I had a new family now. I listened to the therapist repeat Myra's words. My throat tightened. I wanted to scream. To cry. But not in front of Myra. I waited until we got home. Until she was asleep. Then I sat in my kitchen and sobbed quietly into my hands. Nadia filed to subpoena any recordings Cole had of Myra. He denied having any. Then police found a cloud backup account tied to his email. Folders labeled by date. I felt sick realizing my daughter's pain had been catalogued like data. Nadia warned me. This will hurt to hear, but it will end him in family court. Cole's brother started calling my family members, My sister. My parents. Spreading rumors. Saying I was unstable. That I'd always been difficult. I didn't chase the gossip. I focused on the system. On documentation. On building the case. Evan called me one afternoon. Miss Hart, I need to tell you something. Someone's been leaving fake reviews on my business page, claiming I'm unreliable. A liar. I felt rage flare. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Evan said. But I need protection. This is affecting my livelihood. Nadia arranged an affidavit for Evan. Legal protections. A direct police contact. She also filed an emergency motion citing witness intimidation. The pieces were coming together. Slowly. Carefully. But they were coming together. Police interviewed Rena more thoroughly once she was stable. She told them Cole had lured her through a fake job listing. Electrical assistant work. Promising good pay and flexible hours. When she showed up, he took her phone. Locked her in. Told her if she made noise, no one would believe her anyway. I realized Cole had been using tradespeople as cover. Calling in repairs. Creating legitimate reasons for noise. For activity. Myra returned to school with a safety plan. I was put back on all the authorized contact lists. Then the school gave me something that made my stomach drop. A form. Cole had changed Myra's pickup permissions 2 weeks ago. The box he checked said I was not permitted due to risk. I stared at the paper. He'd written me out. Made it look official. Made it look like I was dangerous. Nadia prepared a defamation claim. More evidence of his pattern. Police found additional items in the crawl space during their search. Sound dampening foam. Professional grade. Cole claimed it was insulation. Evan laughed when he heard that. That's not how you insulate a crawl space. That's how you silence one. Cole's lawyer reached out to Nadia with a settlement offer. Cole would step back if I signed a confidentiality agreement, and dropped all complaints. Nadia's response was simple. No. My revenge wasn't going to be public humiliation. It was going to be legal restraint. Long-term supervision. Accountability inside the system. Cole couldn't charm his way out of documentation. Nadia received a tip from the forensic accountant she'd hired. Cole had been moving money between accounts rapidly, trying to look responsible while hiding assets. He's preparing, Nadia said. He thinks he can run. She filed to preserve evidence and block asset disposal. That night, Myra had a nightmare. She woke up screaming, "Don't put me below. Don't put me below." I held her until morning. When the sun came up, I noticed bruises on her wrist. Thin lines. Consistent with someone gripping too hard. I took photos. Timestamped them. Made a medical appointment. The doctor examined Myra carefully. She was gentle. Kind. After, she pulled me aside. "This supports non-accidental injury." I nodded. Added the report to my binder. Everything documented. Everything building toward the hearing. Cole tried reaching out to mutual friends. Asking them to testify that I was difficult. Unstable. One agreed at first. Then Nadia sent a warning about perjury and showed them the timeline. They backed out. At the family court hearing, Cole arrived polished. Pressed shirt. Gentle expression. He was even carrying Myra's favorite stuffed toy. Like a prop. I arrived with binders. With Nadia. With restraint. Nadia presented everything. Evan's testimony. The floor panel metadata. The therapist's assessment. The school forms showing Cole had written me out. The medical report. The evidence of witness intimidation. Cole tried to cry. The judge didn't blink. She reviewed the documents in silence. Then she spoke. Temporary order. Primary custody to the mother. Supervised contact only for the father. No direct messaging to the child. No contact with witnesses. Cole stared at me like I'd stolen something from him. Outside the courtroom, he leaned close. His voice was a whisper. "You can't prove the other girl." I didn't respond. Nadia did. "We already have." Rena gave a formal statement. Cole had offered her a place to stay. Took her phone. Threatened her family. Told her no one would believe a runaway. The criminal charges deepened. I felt sick. Relieved Myra was home. Horrified at what else had been happening. Evan provided one more detail. He'd noticed a second breaker label behind the panel. Scratched out. He'd taken a quick photo before police arrived. Enhanced, it revealed the words vent fan, meaning Cole had controlled the airflow. Deliberately. Nadia looked at me. That turns accident into confinement with intent. Cole went on the offensive. His lawyer claimed I was alienating Myra, coaching her to say things. Nadia requested independent child interviews, observation notes from the supervised visit center. Let the professionals decide. Cole's brother pressured mutual friends to testify. One person agreed. Then Nadia showed them the evidence. The timeline. The recordings. They withdrew. I didn't lash out. Didn't post online. Didn't make speeches. I just kept building a life Myra could trust. Bedtime routine. Therapy. Predictable mornings. Breakfast together. School drop-offs where I waved until she disappeared inside. Myra started drawing again. This time, she drew sunlight, open doors, flowers. One afternoon, she looked up at me. Mum, I remember something. There was another door. Not just the floor. My heart stopped. Where? She described a door in the garage. Behind stacked boxes. Police searched the property again. Found a concealed access point. Another way into the crawl space. Designed for quick entry without being seen. Cole's defense collapsed. His claim of not knowing became impossible. Nadia filed for long-term supervised contact. Required Cole to complete coercive control intervention before any expansion of access. Cole's lawyers tried one more time. A plea arrangement on the criminal side. Confidentiality on the family side. I refused. Secrecy endangers other people. Nadia pushed for a standing protective order. With teeth. With consequences. The court imposed strict conditions. Supervised visits only at an approved center. No school pickups. No school contact. No third-party messaging. No proximity to my home or workplace. Cole tested it immediately. He showed up near Myra's school. Didn't approach. Just stood across the street. Watching. I didn't confront him. I reported it. School security confirmed it on CCTV. Violation logged. Nadia smiled grimly. He can't help himself. Let him prove who he is. Evan's business slowly recovered. The fake reviews were flagged and removed. I quietly recommended him to other people I knew. Trusted him. The prosecutor's office contacted me. They wanted my statement for sentencing on the criminal charges. I sat down to write it. This was where I chose revenge with heart. Not hatred. Not cruelty. Safety. Accountability. Prevention. I wrote about Myra's nightmares. About being disbelieved when I reported her missing. About the importance of listening to witnesses like Evan who don't look away. Rena's family reached out to thank me. For not staying quiet. For pushing forward. I cried in my kitchen. Where Myra couldn't see. Just let it out. Cole's side made one final attempt. A large settlement offer. If I retracted my claims. Agreed to silence. Let him walk away. Nadia looked at me. If you accept, he walks. If you refuse, we finish this. I didn't hesitate. We finish it. Nadia filed to finalize custody. To extend the protective orders permanently. Cole's financial transfers were exposed in court. His attempts to hide assets while claiming he was supporting Myra. The judge was not impressed. A supervised visit report noted Myra became physically ill when Cole entered the room. Nausea. Shaking. The supervisor recommended suspension pending therapeutic clearance. Cole erupted at the center. Shouted at staff. Called them incompetent. It was all documented. The center banned him temporarily. He lost even the controlled access he had. Then something else emerged. As Cole tried to sell his house, inspection reports revealed the modifications. Soundproofing. Reinforced panels. Rewired circuits. Ventilation controls. Everything corroborated the confinement. The criminal case strengthened. Cole's plea deal shifted from lenient to severe. I attended the final custody hearing with Nadia. Myra stayed with my sister. I didn't want her there. Cole arrived looking defeated. Tired. His lawyer made a final argument. Nadia dismantled it piece by piece. The judge issued the final order. I retained sole decision-making authority. Cole's access remained supervised with strict prerequisites. Any breach would trigger immediate review. I walked out with papers that finally matched reality. Cole was led away shortly after on the criminal charges. No grand celebration. Just consequences. That evening, I received a message from an unknown number. You think you won? I showed it to Nadia. She replied from her official email. She did. Months passed. Myra slept through the night. Therapy continued. We rebuilt joy. School projects. Pancakes on Saturday mornings. Laughter that didn't feel guilty. Evan received recognition from a local safety organization for his decision to act. To not look away. Rena returned to school. Started rebuilding her life. One afternoon, Myra walked across our living room. Stopped. Stomped her foot playfully. Then looked up at me with a grin. Nobody's under there, right? I smiled back. No, baby. The floor is just a floor now. She nodded. Went back to her coloring. I stood in the doorway watching her. My daughter. Safe. Home. Free. My revenge had been quiet. Complete. I hadn't destroyed Cole with cruelty. I'd removed his access. His narrative control. His ability to frighten women and children into silence. The system had worked. Slowly. Painfully. But it had worked. Because I'd documented everything. Stayed calm. Let him make mistakes. And never, ever stopped fighting. The floor was just a floor now. And we were finally, truly safe. A year after the final hearing, life felt almost normal. Myra laughed easily now. Made friends. Brought home drawings that didn't have locked doors or dark spaces. Just rainbows. Pets she wanted. Birthday wishes. Cole was serving his sentence. I didn't follow the details. Didn't need to. Nadia told me what mattered. He was away. He couldn't hate anyone. The protective order would extend beyond his release. Rena's case had helped expose a larger pattern. Police found evidence Cole had contacted other young women. Other fake job listings. Some had ignored them. Some had gotten away. Rena had been the one trapped longest. I attended a victim impact panel where Rena spoke. She was stronger now. Clear-eyed. She talked about the importance of witnesses. Of people like Evan who didn't dismiss what they heard. After, we hugged. Didn't say much. Didn't need to. Sometimes survival is its own language. Myra asked about her father once. Just once. Will he ever come back? I thought carefully about my answer. He's far away. And there are rules that keep him away from us. You're safe. She nodded. Seemed satisfied. Went back to playing. I realized then that my revenge wasn't about making Cole suffer. It was about making sure Myra never had to. That she could be a child. Be loud. Be safe. That she'd never be locked below anything again. The second year, I started volunteering. A support group for parents dealing with custody abuse. Coercive control. I shared what I'd learned. Document everything. Stay calm. Let them reveal themselves. One woman asked me, "How did you stay strong?" I thought about it. I didn't always feel strong. But I had people who believed me. Nadia. Evan. The therapist. The officers who finally listened. And I had a daughter who needed me to be unmovable. Another woman asked, "Do you hate him?" I shook my head. I don't think about him enough to hate him. That was the truth. Cole had become irrelevant. A person I coordinated with through a court-approved app when absolutely necessary. Nothing more. Myra turned 11. We had a party. She invited school friends. They ran through the house laughing. Ate cake. Played games. Normal, beautiful chaos. I watched her blow out candles and make a wish. Wondered what she'd wished for. Later, she told me, "I wished we could get a puppy." I laughed. That's it. She nodded seriously. That's all I want. We got a puppy 3 weeks later. A small scruffy thing from the shelter. Myra named her Sunny, because she brought light. Evan stopped by once to check a wiring issue I'd been worried about. Turned out to be nothing. He refused payment. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "You did the right thing," I replied. "Not everyone would have." He shrugged. "I have daughters. I'd want someone to do the right thing for them." After he left, I thought about all the people who'd helped. The ones who didn't look away. Who didn't dismiss. Who didn't tell me to wait or calm down or stop overreacting. They'd saved my daughter's life. Cole sent a letter through his lawyer. asking to re-establish contact with Myra. Supervised. Therapeutic. Nadia forwarded it to me. What do you want to do? I thought about it. Then I asked Myra. Not leading her. Not coaching. Just asking. Your father's lawyer sent a letter. He wants to see you. With a therapist present. You can say yes or no. Either answer is okay. Myra thought for a long moment. Then she said, no thank you. That was it. No drama. No tears. Just a clear boundary from a child who'd learned she was allowed to have them. I let Nadia know. She drafted a response. The request was declined per the child's wishes. Cole's lawyer pushed back. Nadia shut it down. The child has a voice. The court respects it. Cole didn't try again. 3 years after everything happened, I got a promotion at work. More responsibility. Better pay. Proof that his attempt to destroy my career had failed. Myra started secondary school. Thrived. Joined drama club. Made honor roll. Came home excited about projects and friends and normal 13-year-old concerns. One evening, she asked me something unexpected. Mum, do you ever think about what happened? I set down the dish I was washing. Sometimes. Why? She shrugged. I just wanted you to know I remember. But it doesn't hurt as much anymore. I hugged her. That's because you're healing. And you're strong. I learned from you, she said. Years passed. Cole was released from prison. I got a notification. He was required to maintain distance. Required to report his location. The protective order held. He moved to a different town. Didn't attempt contact. Didn't violate. Nadia told me he'd remarried. Was working a basic job. Living quietly. Do you care? She asked. No, I said. And I meant it. My revenge had never been about destroying his entire life. It was about removing his ability to control mine. To hurt my child. He was irrelevant now. Myra graduated secondary school. Got accepted to university. We cried together looking at the acceptance letter. I'm so proud of you, I said. She hugged me tight. I wouldn't be here without you. On her 18th birthday, the protective order technically expired. She could choose contact if she wanted. She didn't. Didn't even mention it. I attended Myra's university graduation 4 years later. Watched her walk across the stage. Confident. Bright. Whole. After the ceremony, she introduced me to her friends. Her boyfriend. People who knew her as she was now. Not defined by what had happened when she was 9. That evening, we had dinner. Just the two of us. Mum, can I ask you something? Anything. Do you think you'll ever stop being angry at him? I thought about it. I'm not angry anymore. I was for a long time. But anger was heavy. I put it down. She smiled. Good. You deserve to be happy. I reached across the table and squeezed her hand. So do you. And you are. She nodded. I really am. The revenge I'd chosen years ago, the structural, legal, permanent kind, had worked exactly as intended. Cole couldn't rewrite history. Couldn't access my daughter. Couldn't frighten us into silence. The system had held. Because I'd documented everything. Stayed calm when he tried to provoke me. Let him make mistakes while I built proof. I'd learned something important. Revenge doesn't have to be loud to be complete. Sometimes the quietest revenge is the one that locks someone out of power forever. Not through cruelty. Through consequences. Through truth that can't be denied. Through paperwork that doesn't care about charm. Cole was somewhere living his life. I was here living mine. And mine was full of light. Decades after that day when Evan called me, when I heard those 3 taps under the floor, I looked back and understood something. The revenge had never been about Cole at all. It was about reclaiming safety. About teaching my daughter that her voice mattered. That when someone tried to silence her, people would listen. That the world could be trusted if you knew how to document the truth. Myra became a social worker. Specialized in child protection. She told me once, I do this because I remember what it felt like to be heard. To be believed. I want other kids to feel that. I attended a conference where she presented. Watched her speak with authority and compassion. Talked about the importance of listening to children. Of believing them the first time. After her presentation, someone asked, what made you choose this field? Myra didn't hesitate. My mum taught me that protection isn't passive. It's active. It's documentation and boundaries and refusing to be quiet when something's wrong. She saved my life. Now I want to help save others. I cried in the audience. Proud tears. Rena, now an adult with children of her own, reached out on social media. We'd stayed loosely in touch over the years. She sent me a photo. Her family. Happy. Safe. The message said, "Thank you for not stopping. For not letting him win. You saved more than just your daughter." I replied simply, "You saved yourself by speaking up. I just helped make sure people listened." On the anniversary of the day Evan called me, 20 years later, I stood in my garden. Myra was visiting with her own daughter, my granddaughter, 3 years old, laughing, running, free. Myra walked over and stood beside me. "What are you thinking about?" "Just remembering," I said. "The day Evan called. The day everything changed." She nodded. "I don't remember all of it. But I remember you never stopped looking for me." "I never will," I said. We watched my granddaughter play. Sunny, now old and gray, dozed in the sun nearby. The house was full of light, full of laughter, full of people who felt safe. This was the revenge. Not Cole suffering somewhere. Not public humiliation. Not dramatic confrontation. This, a daughter who grew up whole. Who became someone who protected others. Who knew her voice mattered because I'd fought to make sure it was heard. A granddaughter who would never know what it felt like to be trapped. To be silenced. To be dismissed. Cole had tried to bury us. Instead, we'd grown. Thrived. Built lives he couldn't touch. Couldn't diminish. Couldn't control. That evening, as the sun set, Myra asked me one more question. "Do you have any regrets?" I thought about it. About the years of court hearings. The documentation. The sleepless nights. The fear. "No," I said. "Not one." Because every moment of that fight had been worth this. Worth watching my daughter become someone strong. Someone safe. Someone who taught her own child that the floor is just a floor. And that above ground, in the light, is where they belonged.